I'm Danny from Kimchi Cult and you're watching FRSHRtv. Basically I started Kimchi Cult 2 years ago. My girlfriend and I went to teach English in Korea for a few years. And while we were out there, I started writing a blog about street food. At the time the whole kind of street food thing wasn't really popular in the UK, or America even, I don't think. And I was just really sort of bowled over by the variety and the quality of food you could get. Also the fact that you could, you know, go up, eat the food, talk to the person who was selling it to you. I just thought it was fantastic. And just the general sort of food culture out there I loved. So I got really involved in, you know, going and finding different street food and, you know, trying different things and writing about it. And then at one point I just sort of decided, well, I need something to do when I go home, so why not do street food? And it just kind of clicked. It's like, oh, do Korean food, do kimchi. There's not a whole lot in London. You know, you absolutely, it's such good stuff and it's really diverse, and you can use it in all these different ways. Kimchi is a fermented cabbage, spicy fermented cabbage. I mean, kimchi can actually come in lots of different varieties. You can basically make kimchi out of any vegetable. The most common one is the Chinese cabbage, and most commonly it's spicy as well. So it's basically just the process of you know, salting a vegetable, mixing it up with a paste, different flavours, depriving it of oxygen, letting it ferment at room temperature for a few days. When you ferment the vegetable in food, generally it involves, you know, some process of salting to take the excess water out of the vegetable. The salt also provides a little flavour and kind of it makes a good environment for the lactobacteria to grow. So usually you'll involve some sort of salting. You can basically ferment anything by just having it covered in liquid and depriving it of oxygen. But whenever I make kimchi, I'll make like a paste with sort of chilies, Korean chili powder, fish sauce, spring onions, radish, onion, lots of different vegetables. And it's basically the sugar and the bacteria that's already on the vegetables that kickstarts the process. So you don't add anything like yeast or anything like you would with bread. So it's like completely natural. The original point of making kimchis and things like that was to preserve vegetables over the winter time for use, you know, whenever they're not growing. So I mean that's kind of the purpose of fermentation. So I think that's probably still the main reason for it, but it does change the flavour like quite dramatically. So we did like a kimchi BLT at one point. We did kimchi hot dogs. I had like a sort of Mexican sandwich which involved guacamole, marinated meat, kimchi, cheese, jalapenos, things like that. So I mean it's really you know, you can use it for a lot of different things. Started doing this pop-up at the Black Heart in Camden, where we are now, and that's been going quite well. So that's somewhere where we are like 5 days a week, where we can do quite a bigger menu. So that's going well. We also want to start producing kimchi for wholesale. We already supply to one restaurant, but I want to sort of expand that and supply to more restaurants. And I'm also keen on selling jarred kimchi to delis and mail order. We've got a website, it's www.kimchicult.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so the website's got information about how to get in touch and, you know, how you can hire us for private events. It's also got a little bit of information about the kimchi making process there.